It's okay. We got this.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Nipples.
This is Serve and Spill with your hosts Deana and Krystina. We are here to say what you're thinking with no edits.
So whether you like your tea sweet or your coffee black, we like it piping hot as we serve and spill. I gotta cover it. She got my hair, and it doesn't cover my nipples anymore.
Okay, we're settling in.
Okay.
We're waiting for the guest.
Our favorite guest.
So
far, our favorite
I'm
guest.
so excited.
And it matches.
Yeah, I love that. I can't wait. I gotta finish the sign. It's almost done. So I'm gonna have to put that, like, I don't know, put it somewhere here. The newspaper sign. Remember I showed you about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And today's episode is not brought to you by, but we would like it to be brought to by Brewmate.
Love Brewmate. I literally had the coffee cup. My mom just got me this. Oh, there she is.
Oh, we have to let her in.
Yeah. Hello.
Me thinking. Ready?
Yay!
Yay! Hi.
Oh my gosh, you got our
Welcome.
shirt on. I love it.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
We're gonna all everyone raise your Brewmate
Cheers.
and cheers.
Oh my god, I love your color.
Is that like that iridescent purple? I think.
Yes, it looks like it.
It's like rose gold. My sister got it for me.
Oh my god, love her.
Oh, bougie.
She's so good. I was on the phone with her the one day and I was talking about how my coffee cup wasn't keeping my coffee warm anymore. And next thing I know, I got an Amazon delivery right to my door.
Love it.
How thoughtful. I love people that get you gifts that make sense. Like,
Yeah, that you're gonna use.
yeah. Like if I say I keep getting, no, I don't want to say that. I'm gonna jinx myself. Like let's say I'm a nervous Nelly. I can't check like on my new car the gauge for my air pressure tire. Like buy me an air pressure thingy.
Yeah, I'll use it all the time. Right?
What's that called? A gauge?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It's a little early here.
Okay, so should we get to it?
Yes.
Okay.
Do the intro. Introduce Kathy and hit it hard.
Okay, so this is Kathy, who is now on our podcast for the third time. Third time. Second through this. Mm-hmm. She was our first in-person guest.
I know.
Love her.
People don't like us.
So that's why I was like chatting with her the other day and I'm like, I think we need to do a intro to 2025 fitness because Kathy has literally transformed her life. Yeah, there we go. Like 360. That's it,
that.
right? 360.
Wait,
Yeah, it's not a 180.
what's a 180?
180 is turning around. 360 is a full circle.
I always say that wrong. Okay.
So go ahead, Kathy. Tell us a little bit about what your fitness journey looked like, why you got into health and wellness, and what you're doing now.
Well, I mean, my fitness journey has been on and off for many, many years just because I always knew that I needed to do healthy movement. I am all of 5 foot, so the 10 pounds here or there is an actual health risk for me. I mean, I don't have a good gene line of health, so to speak. So, but I think we talked about this on one of the other episodes, like get an autoimmune disease, which, you know, we've talked about before. It takes a toll on your body. And mentally, I would be, you know, running miles, and physically I just couldn't do anything. So that became very frustrating, went through a long journey medically, and finally, a little over 2 years ago now, started working with a functional medicine doctor who has helped me get my health completely back on track. And medicine just was making me sicker, but that's a topic for another episode.
Ooh, I love when we dig into new episodes soon.
And so with that came the ability to feel well enough to start implementing more exercise. And, you know, Krystina and I have been friends for like well over 20 years. I know we've talked about, and I was watching her journey with the body program, and I had tried it previously. Like we hadn't even talked about it, and I had tried that a long time ago, but with my health, it just wasn't it was actually more frustrating for me than anything. So we started talking about the program. I reached out to her because I knew it was working for her. And my days of going to the gym, I was over it. COVID also took that out. So when we moved into this house, I have an entire workout room. Like, we've outfitted it for me. My husband still goes to the gym because he likes to do, the manly stuff. So I started working out here and started talking to Christine about the body program, started using that, and I just fell in love all over again with it. Like, this time it was different because my body was different, my health was different. And I've really just started putting more focus into me and my self care. And this year, really, truly, I'm dialed in and more focused on that than anything else. I had actually posted a quote on my Defining You page. Is, selfishness isn't, or self care isn't, selfish, it's necessary. And that's really what I'm living by this year, is that I just, it's a necessity for me to focus in on me. And then, I know Christina and our other friend Susie. She's been doing the 75 hard, and Christina's husband Bill. And like, I'm like, okay, I know half of this is pretty much my life. Like, this is what I do anyway. And on New Year's Eve, I had a situation at work that I came home really, truly in tears. And that's not, like, I can't have something outside having that kind of power over me. I wasn't going to give it that power. And New Year's Day, I woke up and I had already worked out for an hour. And I'm like, I'm going to download the 75 Hard app. I'm just going to do it. Like, I already do it anyway. This is going to be more intentional now. And yeah, so I'm on day 11.
So exciting.
Yeah. So taking from what she said, like, it, when you hear her talk about like where she was, what she went through, like, how easy would it have been for you to be like, you know what? I have bad genetics. I have this autoimmune thing. Like, I'm just going to sit here and like live my life, and it is what it is. But you like took hold, you changed your mindset, you were proactive, you found the functional medicine doctor, you didn't sit there and say, body never worked for me before, even though this is working for her and other people, it just didn't work for me, so I'm not going to do that. You're like, you know what? I'm changing my mindset. I'm changing my habits. I'm going to look at this as an opportunity to take maybe another chance on this. And then look what happened. And then, you're doing it. Like, I mean, even when we met up over the summer and went for a walk and we were talking, and we talked about how, like, we were talking about 75 hard, and you were saying how you wanted to like try it. And I had said to you then, like, you live this. It's just being more intentional and being more, aware of checking those boxes every day. But you live this lifestyle, which is great, because then it does, like, I mean, on my journey, I know the more I do it and the more years go by and whatever, your intentions are different because you're living through different ways of doing things, which is kind of like what you just said. Like, the more you do, the more you experience, the more you become, you grow.
Oh, for sure. And I think, like we had talked about, one of the things that a lot of people don't understand, because now I'm getting all the questions like, what's this thing you're doing in post?
And I love when people are like, oh, it's a fitness challenge, are you doing this? No. And that's why most people don't do it.
They see the calendar. That's why they confuse the calendar with like all these other
I think the thing is people are just like, a lot of people don't complete it because they go into it with the mindset of like, oh, I'm going into this to lose weight. No, you have to do this to have a full mental transformation and get off your bullshit, in all honesty, is really what it is.
Well, that's exactly what it is. And that's what I've been explaining to people. I'm like, it's not an exercise program. Yes, you're working out 2 times a day and, making sure that one of them is outside. And then they're like, oh, well, it's cold. I'm like, yeah, it's cold. I said, but you know what? Life is going to throw you the most unfavorable situations that are going to make you uncomfortable. And you have to figure out a way to get through it. This is 45 minutes. You can do it.
It's 75 days. It's 75 days. Like, when people like are like, I just don't have the time for that. And I'm like, you do. You just don't have the mindset. Like, you have what it takes. You just aren't there. And that's fine because it's not for everybody. But like, I've known people who have tried this multiple times, failed, and then post the nastiest things about how like, well, this isn't for me, but I went through all this other stuff. And this, like, no one's asking for an explanation. Nobody's asking. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But don't degrade anybody else who's done it because it is life-changing.
It truly is. I mean, even just in 11 days, the mental difference that I have. And I mean, I like to think that that's one area I do try to focus very strongly on myself is my mental health. And I promote it and I talk about it a lot because yes, it's being talked about a lot more now, but I really still don't think it's talked about enough. People still feel that stigma around it. And I think it's something that people don't also consider as part of their health. Like, I think in order to be completely well rounded, you need to be physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthy in all those areas. And it's really hard to keep that all in balance in every day. And so
Right.
I think over just these 11 days so far, I'm getting back in check. Even though I didn't feel like I was completely out of balance, I was having certain areas of my life that were falling out of whack and I needed to get that back. And it is a mental thing. It really
Sure.
truly is. And I feel like there's just a lot of people who could benefit from getting back to a mental toughness situation. Like they need to be mentally tougher. And that's what this helps you do. I mean, even just the fact that yesterday, take yesterday for instance, so for 10 full days or 9 full days, my schedule was the same thing. Yesterday, we had plans with friends to go to dinner. And I knew that when I came home from work, I wasn't going to be able to go do my outdoor walk like I had been the past 9 days. So I took my workout outside in the morning at, 4:15 in the morning. I'm taking a mat and weights on my back patio in 27 degrees.
Which is unheard of for your area at this time.
They have snow. Don't you have snow?
South Carolina, that is cold.
What's going on?
We're like, I'm out there. My husband was at the gym. He comes home. He sees me outside. And his face was like priceless. And I'm like, look, we have plans later. So when we come home from dinner, I'll just hop on the treadmill inside before bed. And he's like, okay, you have fun with that. I'm going to bed. And when we came home from dinner, and I still had to do my reading, my 10 pages, I kid you not, I was on the treadmill with my book. I'm walking, getting my cardio in, and reading my 10 pages.
Yeah.
And 45 minutes went by like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
You make it work.
Well, that's what it is. And that's another thing too, is like, it also teaches you not only like I think a lot of people who've never done it or who just look at it and like, wow, that's a lot. Like I already do so much, like that's too much for me. Like you don't realize that like it does also help you with not only time management, but like if there are
playing footsies
with me. If there are things like that happen, like it teaches you how to adjust your schedule without stressing. Like, okay, well, I know tomorrow I have to do this. So I have to get my 2 workouts in with the 3 hours in between, do my reading, make sure I'm on point with my eating, make sure I get my hydration in, take my picture, like all these things that you have to do. Okay, well, then I have to do this. I have to get myself up out of bed at this time. I have, like, you were up at like 10 after 4 doing your workout. Like, you have to get up at a certain time. But it also teaches you that for the 75 days, situations are temporary. So you have to take your things that happen within this time frame. And yes, it's 75 days, it's like 10 and a half weeks, not even 11 weeks, but it's lessons and things that will teach you going forward when you get in a situation like, all right, well, now I have to take a step back. I'm not going to react. I'm not going to overstress because I have to take a step back and think, okay, how am I going to change things so that this is easier on me and whoever I'm dealing with? So it is like such a mental transformation because it does make you think later in situations you get into based on what you're learning now.
Well, and I'll tell you too, in addition to reading the book that I'm reading for that,
Which
because
is
I have
what?
to read What Happened to You, which is a book that actually Oprah and a doctor wrote together. It's basically their conversation talking about trauma. It's kind of similar to that The Body Keeps the Score, but it's in I don't know. I guess like The Body Keeps the Score is a really in-depth scientific like explanation of how your body holds on to trauma. What happened to you is very much the same, but almost like more understandable because it's more examples and it's literally a conversation between two people. And it's really, really good because it makes you understand how things affect you from when you were even a baby that you don't realize that you're just naturally instilled to react in a certain way because of your environment. But in addition to that, I'm also listening to Mel Robbins' new book, Let Them.
Oh my gosh, I ordered that.
You did?
I did.
I'm ordering that today.
It's
I
on
kid you
back
not.
order because I was going to order it, and I can get it on my Kindle. But I'm like, you know what? Like sometimes with books like that, and I've learned by doing these programs that there are certain books that I need physical copies because I want to highlight. I want to like, and I listened to her podcast that she did with her daughter when I was like literally the day after Christmas. I started cleaning out my house, like going through stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Let me listen to this while I'm doing this because it'll make the time go past. And I'm like, I need to read this book. And it's so true. There's even situations I get into where, you know, of course, human nature, you're going to react, but you do think more like what you think more about people. Why are they acting like this? You know, what have they gone through that I don't understand that they're acting like I'm so excited to read that book. So
I
excited.
want to get it autographed.
Because I do that, like I'll listen to a book, but then I also need the physical book because I
Yes.
want to read it. I feel like I retain it even that much more. So I can't wait to get the
That's
physical
true.
book to read that too. But that's the other thing with this book that I'm reading is it's like when people act a certain way, instead of saying what's wrong with you, say what happened to you, because it's really a reaction to something
Sure.
that's happened to them.
Sure.
And one of the other things with like the mental toughness part of it. So for Christmas, my husband got me an ice pod.
A what?
And people,
Oh.
like a ice pod.
Oh, plunge.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And somebody
Is that
said,
your cold shower?
did you ask for that? Like, you know, I had been talking about getting one. So, I mean, he was good. He got a good gift. And that in itself that is a true testament to how you can mentally put yourself into another place for 5 minutes.
Oof,
You truly
yeah.
can. And he has yet to get in it. Now, I mean, I'm mentally tough. Like, if there's nothing else, like I can prove to myself that I can mentally go into another place for 5 minutes to do something that is actually going to benefit me physically too. So,
Sure.
I
Well, see, I know that you say this, but I have a friend who just completed 75 hard. Besides me, Susie, and Bill, she's the only person that I know that has actually started it and completed it. But she had prior lost over 100 pounds on her own, no surgery, whatever. So I knew when she had started it, like we had gone out for a girls' night the one night, and she was like, "No, I'm not drinking. You know, I ate before I came." She's like, "I'm just here to hang out because you know I'm on." And I'm like, she's telling me about the book she's reading, and I said to her like, "I know you're gonna complete this because I know what you've done up until this point. Like you're not going into it like, I'll try it out." Like that's when you're like, or we go into it as like a fitness challenge. That's when people like set themselves up for failure. Those like, I'm going to wait till January. I'm going to wait till Monday people like, just do it. But she was, I don't even remember where I was going with this.
because I was
The shower.
yeah.
So she had said to me that she couldn't do phase one because when she saw that I just completed the year, she was like, I would love to do it again, but I think I'm just going to do another round of 75 hard in the summer. She's like, I can't do the cold shower. And I'm like, you can. It sucks. I'm going to be honest with you.
Wait, there's
That
a
is-
difference between phase one and
Phase one and phase three include different things.
Okay.
Phase two is the same as 75 hard, but it's only 30 days long.
so you just start phase one, then you go phase two, phase three, or you could do whatever you want.
You could go from 75 hard to phase one, like directly, but between phase one and phase two, you have to wait a minimum of 30 days because the point is to teach you to see if you're able to stay on track of what
Consistent.
you've learned.
Okay.
Correct. But the whole thing is regardless. So like last year I did 75 hard and I did phase one, but I was just going to do 75 hard and leave it at that because I had done the whole program the year prior. But I was like, all right, I'll do another round of 75 hard. I was getting the edge. And then I wasn't going to do anything else. And then my friend Susie's like, let's start in January, another round of 75 hard. We'll do it together. We'll do the whole year. And I was like, all right, well, then I have to do phase one to ease myself into it. So I went on a girls trip. Remember I told you, came back that Monday. I started 75, the phase one.
Okay.
So it got me through, like, I went through Thanksgiving and 4 days before Christmas last year, I stopped. because I was done with my day 30. And then it was like 2.5 weeks later, I started this round of this year. But the cold shower, I have to admit, like the coldness is definitely the worst. It's definitely like even yesterday, I took a shower, Bill was working, and I texted him because Billy wasn't feeling good. And I was like, he's doing good. He's doing better. I just got into a shower. He's like, how more enjoyable is it when you don't have to like anticipate your shit? Because it sucks. It's so painful.
Can you just stand there for 5 minutes? Like
I think that would be worse.
I don't want to wash.
I wash myself. Yeah, but then I put on a podcast. I listen. Like I do stuff. You know what I mean? Like
I just want to hold myself.
But once it's done, like right when you do your cold plunge, like once it's done, you're like, this is
I feel
great.
like it would be better to fully submerge so your body
I gotta
gets
do that.
it
I've never done that.
all at once versus like this pitter patter of cold daggers.
I think it sucks either way, to be honest. But I think it's.
I was wondering if that would that count as the shower then, or you have to do the shower like it?
You have to do the shower.
Isn't gonna work.
Christ.
I mean, I'm not there yet, so I've got a little bit. What do I got? Like
You're doing 75 hard.
Yeah, so that's like the boot camp of the intro. A lot of people
so
just do the 75 days.
Okay.
But if you want to do the whole year, it's a year-long
do you see where
program.
I'm going with this? We might have to do this.
What?
I just have to plan for me because I'm an idiot. Kathy, you're going to laugh. I thought...
Oh, gosh. Because she's like, I'm not able to do it at that 3-hour mark. I'm like... No, but I told her...
And we were talking when we were walking, and I'm like, that's my biggest problem. Like, I'm not home during the day. And she's like,
no, it just has to be at least.
I thought
like,
it was
the
like,
gap has to be
I
3
thought if
hours.
I get
You could
up
do it
at
9 hours
four-
apart,
I'm like,
but you can't do it any less than 3.
I'm like, at 7 and change, I'm at work. I can't be in the classroom lifting weights for 45 minutes. She goes, no, it has to be within that time frame. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
yeah. And that's why typically I do my body workout in the morning because that's the weights and all that. And then when I come home from work, I'll just go. I mean, my neighborhood is huge. So I just walk the entire neighborhood, and it's usually a good 45 minutes. Actually, it's more than 45 minutes. And that's my outdoor walk. Like, that's my outdoor workout. And it doesn't matter if it's, what the weather is, because I'm home then. Like, I wouldn't want to do that. Like, I'm already planning for next week. We have family coming from out of town to visit. And I know a couple of nights that week we have to go to dinner with them. And I'm like, and I'm like, by the time we get home, it's going to be late. Like, I'm going to have to like flip flop again, like I did yesterday. And then I had already thought about this. And Mike's like, well, why don't you just go at your lunch break, go walk around the parking lot at work? And I'm like, well, I could do that. But if it's raining, good idea. If the weather isn't good, I'm like, I have to go back inside to work. So that's the only reason why that would hold me up is because I don't care if I'm out in the rain at home, because then I can come inside. But if I'm at work, that would change it. So, but I'm already planning ahead, which is part of my point to that is that.
Yes.
Wait a second.
Can't use an umbrella. I know you're going to ask.
No.
Can't use an umbrella.
No, but like, okay, if I do, I'm trying to think, because depending upon, like, I in the morning have hall duty and it's 55-minute periods. So I can do my walk on hall duty inside.
That would be your indoor.
And then when I get home, I can go out on the patio and lift weights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one has to be outside.
Well, because here's how I'm thinking about it. Like, listening to all this talk, and here's what I can't wrap my head around with people. I would rather plan when I'm going to, and I've been saying movement because people like fear the word fitness.
It's not. It's just movement, really.
Right. I would rather plan that than have to plan from a hospital bed and having my husband figure out all the things with the kids, school, plan out, oh my God, how are we going to afford this? Like, I would rather plan, like, like you're saying, I would rather say, crap, like, I got to get up a little bit earlier, or on this day, I'm going to go out for dinner. Let me plan this, than say, from a hospital bed with a freaking tube in my mouth, how are we going to do this? Like, I don't want to plan that.
Well, it's like that saying, like, don't wait till you're sick to take a hold of your life.
Yeah.
Like, it's so true. Like,
and the thing is, too, is like, just listening to what you just said, like, not to, chime in and coach you here, but the thing that you said that stood out to me is I've got to get up earlier to do this, like, because you're playing. No, you get to. You get to, because you're not in a hospital bed, you get to get up earlier so that you can work out. You get to work out because you have the things at home to be able to do that.
But see, we have a different mindset. We have a different mindset. And this is why, like, it's kind of like that let them theory. Like, there's certain people you just can't relate to because no matter what, you're thinking ahead on how to execute your tasks for next week. They would be thinking ahead on how to get out of it. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I actually just posted this one the other day. Elevation requires separation. And there's going to be people that you're going to lose along your journey, no matter what it is you're going through in your life. If there's one thing that I've also added in, besides the, you know, just letting people go and realizing that I'm focusing on me, is my son and his girlfriend gave me at Christmas time a gratitude journal because they know like I'm on this, you know, this is where I'm at in life. And so I implemented that starting January 1st too. I started every single day writing in my gratitude journal. I take the time in the morning to do that. It's a morning and evening one. And I also have like my devotional, like I'll read that every morning, like just centering myself for the day, getting into a better headspace before I even leave the house and let anybody else get into my head.
Set the tone.
I would like to walk in the morning, but like I fear the
I get nervous. Yeah, in the dark.
Like that's the thing that stinks. I'm a morning person. I would love to walk in the morning, but I don't trust people. Like, and that stinks. I mean, I could walk circles around my house for 40 minutes.
So I think there's only really one question left because we covered everything.
Conversation. Great.
Yeah, conversation. So how do you feel overall to this point that your lifestyle changes have affected and impacted your life, mental state, and relationships with yourself and other people? Like, how do you think if you didn't do this, it would be different?
I think it would absolutely be different in a more negative way. You know, I think that when you don't feel good about yourself in any form, then you can't be positive about anything else that's around you or with anyone you're with. I think that, you know, whatever we like have inside of us, we're going to reflect, right? And so if we're not feeling good, we're going to reflect that we're not feeling good. Or if we're in a bad mood, we reflect we're in a bad mood. That affects other people who are around us. And eventually they're not going to want to be around you either. And it's kind of like I'm in this place where when I'm around people who are negative or are always, you know, talking negatively, I don't want to be around them. So I'm going to remove myself from them. I set my boundaries that, okay, you've reached your time limit. It's time to go. I can't be around that kind of negative toxicity anymore. It's just not good for my
It's not aligning with where you're at.
No, not at all. And honestly, I'm so much farther now than where I was 2 years ago, definitely further than 3 years ago. And what's really amazing is when you go through all these things that we go through in life, like everybody has their challenges and situations. So it's not to compare one to the other. But whenever you go through them and you think, I'm in a good mental space, I'm mentally strong, I can get through this. And then when you get to it, like where I was 3 years ago to where I am now, I'm in a way better space now than I was then. Like I was surviving then. You know what I mean? Like I was surviving, but now I feel like I'm thriving.
He's thriving.
You went from surviving to thriving.
She's polar what is it? Polar
opposite?
No, polar plunging, so she's good.
Yeah, she's polar plunging.
Well, because people who do that, you have to be in a mindset. You can't just...
Sure. Well, that's it. Like, I mean, going back to like what we were saying before about like, you know, outgrowing people and, you know, whatever, the quote that you were talking about and everything. Like, go ahead, say it again. Yes. So like there's certain times you can't separate from people because they may be close friends, they may be coworkers, they may be family. But I know like in my own personal experience, like there's times that I will get off the phone and have a conversation with somebody and I just look at Bill and he's like, your whole mood changes. Like, do yourself a favor. Limit the conversation because, or like know in a point of the conversation when you start to get aggravated, end it. you know, because he said, like, you know, just because someone's your good friend, just because someone's your family member, just because someone's your coworker, does not mean that you have to have those conversations, because it's going to constantly put you in a bad mood. So I think also being aware of that, like you said, is a great thing, because you have to protect your peace. And it's not selfish. You have to protect your peace, because they're not evaluating themselves because of what they're going through. They're reflecting on you and your conversation, and sometimes getting angry at you or resentful in like a condescending way. But like, you don't have to take it.
You don't. And the more you allow someone to affect your peace and take your energy, you're giving them the power, whether it's a person or a situation. And I mean, I'm also speaking from a point where I suffer horrifically from anxiety. So, you know, on the outside, I might look like I have it all together, but on the inside, I could be like shaking a million miles an hour just thinking about crap that hasn't even happened and probably won't happen, you know. But I feel like this has kind of helped me navigate that even that much better, because being able to get into a better mental space, really truly, like when they say, you know, mind over matter, it's true. Like,
Sure,
you can really, it's a very powerful place to be.
Yeah.
Her
I know.
her stomach is rolling at the same
It's the coffee. It's the coffee.
She's like, mind over matter, and I hear.
Like no potted plants. It's just like,
Wait, so you know what I was so mad about when you were here last in studio, because when I edit, I do I flick on it, fix the background noises, and it normalizes. And I forgot, when you normalize the audio,
it got rid of all of our noises. And we were
Yes.
talking about that.
I know. I was like, damn it! My stomach was farting.
Oh, man. Well, I feel like we did a really good job of
I love the
putting this
conversation.
together literally last minute. We were talking, and I was like, so do you want to like get on the podcast maybe at 9 a.m. on Saturday? I know it's like super last minute, but like this could work. And I really like, well, because it's like once you started 75 Hard, I'm like, we're in the new year. We're starting out. Like,
Makes
I know how
sense.
far you've come on your health and fitness journey, and mentally, physically, the whole nine. So I'm like, let's just do this. And it worked. And we stayed on. See, we got to come with bullet points. Otherwise, we're just
Tangents.
Yeah, but tangents are fun too. And you know, I mean, I love when we go on a good tangent, especially you never know what the topic will be, and we just
Yes.
go with it. So
It's
never know what's gonna
dark as, what was it?
dark as fuck.
Was DAF?
DAF.
DAF, okay.
Yeah.
I try.
yeah, and that's another thing. It gets DAF pretty early in the winter. So
Oh, yeah, you really got to plan your stuff. Yep.
That's my fear. Like, I would love crack of dawn, getting up, walking when the sun's
Start
coming
doing
up.
it after daylight savings time. March, I don't know, I just made an appointment for somebody yesterday.
Oh, no,
March
that's too far.
March 20th maybe?
Like, I don't want to wait. Like, that's too far.
Get through the winter.
Yeah, because I have books that I ordered, so I kind of want to
Yeah.
align them.
And you know what else is like good too? Because I know that you like to plan and you like to be organized and you have your fancy new planner. So what I started doing, because I got a new planner for the year, and like even every day, like I'll write down what the workouts were that I did, how many steps I did that day. And then like at the end of the week, it's kind of fun to see the total like steps that you did and things like that. Like, so just if you figure out what works for you and add that to like your,
You gotta come up with a word. What's your word for 2025?
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's funny. I was talking about this with a friend last night because she even said that she didn't really have a word, and
I think it's
her
great.
word for the year that she finally thought of was release. And I was like, man,
I like that
that's an
one.
awesome
Good
word.
job.
I like that one.
That could be funny, too.
Yeah. Release. Don't hold it in. You get a bellyache.
Tummy aches, let it go.
Release it.
Let it go.
So,
L-I-G.
what did you pick a word?
So I didn't pick a word, and I kind of feel bad like taking her. Like I don't want to take hers, but I really like that.
You know what
one.
you could
So
do?
many things.
Here's what
Did.
There's no copyright on that word.
So here's what I did. Well, but I get it because she's like, you know, her friend. They were just talking about it. So here's what I did. So I was talking on the one podcast about how like I wanted a word because I've been doing it now for like the past couple of years, and I feel like it's good. I used to have vision boards, but I'm like, they're all right. But like I like the word because I feel like it's very simple. It takes all the guesswork out of it, and it's multi-purposeful and your whole year. So this year my word was unbothered. Because I'm like, you know what? I have to not give a fuck, really. But at the same point, I have to be like nice about it. Why? Why? I don't know. But I like to be like, unbothered. Okay. So, and I have thought of it in many situations this past, what day? The 11th.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's the 11th already.
111.
111. Oh.
I know. I thought of that this morning. I was like, today's gonna be a good day.
But what I did was I went into Google and I was like, synonyms for not giving a shit. And there was words that came up and I was like, I was on the phone with my friend and I was going through it and I'm like, you know what? Unbothered sounds great. Like I see it, it hit. I was like, that's it. That's my word for the year. So you could always go on and synonyms for release. And then whatever
Just be careful.
strikes you. Yeah, just be careful. Don't go, little tangent, don't go to dicks.com when you're going to dicksportinggoods.com because I've done that.
Oh my God.
Doesn't take you to sportinggoods.com. It takes you to straight up dicks.com.
So what did we say? Synonyms for release.
Yeah, and then you'll find, that's a little tangent for you. The more you know. For real.
I feel like that should have been our podcast name, The More You Know.
The more you know.
How about freedom?
There you go.
Oh, I like
Freedom.
that. It has such a good vibe to it, too.
Yeah.
Like, you can look at that in so many ways.
That's what I like about the word. Because I feel like the vision board's good. I've done it for the past 2 years. But this year, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to have my word and I'm going to, keep it simple. Take the guesswork out of it and multi-purposeful.
I like freedom because you know what? In all honesty, when you can change your mindset, you are giving yourself freedom. Mm-hmm. You're giving yourself freedom from letting anything and anyone have that power over you, right? So that's where I'm at for this year. That's my goal. And so, freedom I think is very fitting. So thank you for helping me pick that word.
There we go. There we go. And then let freedom ring.
Let freedom ring.
When the zombie apocalypse happens, that's another. We'll be the one who's good.
Going dark as fuck.
Listen,
going dark as fuck.
We're working
Zombie
out.
apocalypse.
We're working out. We'll be good.
Yeah, for real. I'll be able to run from zombies.
Listen, we can hide in the icy water.
They won't go there.
For 5 minutes, though.
Yeah, only 5.
Only for 5.
I always have to take a serious topic and turn it into something.
It's good.
That's what I'm here for.
Good trait. It's a good trait.
I push buttons and I talk occasionally.
This was fun though. I'm glad we did this. This worked out so well.
I want this to be the did we talk? We didn't talk to her yet. Did you talk to her yet about our June thing?
Oh,
it was kind of on the podcast. We were talking about our 1 year anniversary vibe. But this is what I want. I want if someone can't be there, I want them to call in because we're gonna have probably 3 cameras set up. There's gonna be the phone. We'll have the iPad set up, and then we can even set up your phone so we have angles. But if people want to call in who can't be there, but then also I'll turn the iPad to face the guest so the guests can watch the interactions. Have an interaction.
Yeah. I like it.
You'll have to let me know when in June.
We'll figure it out.
We gotta pick a day.
Okay. We'll look.
Because it's got to be a weekend, right? But then I got to figure out their weekend schedule. I
know. We got to figure this out. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Things to come.
When we're going to be on air.
Yes.
And we could probably plan for October because I think I might be coming back in October again. Last year. I guess.
Yes. Get it on the calendar. Bob.
We got to plan Bob too. He never goes in the attic anymore. He just stays out in my house, so he's fine. He's available.
Okay. He's available at whatever time.
We know things can easily get knocked over.
Yep.
My concerns in life.
She took me away from the shelf for that reason. Took me away from the shelf. Too many mishaps.
Well, it was just you got so angry at the shelf. You were so angry at the shelf.
I was like, God damn it.
You're so stupid.
Yeah, that damn shelf. Be my demise.
I can't. My stomach hurts.
Potted plants.
No, I can't. Not today. Oof. Okay. Also, you have a brand new Instagram, so shout that out before we let you go.
Yes, it's defining you. I think it's __ because one wasn't available. And I want to start getting more consistent with our podcast too because kind of fell off with that over the holiday season and all of that. So we'll have to maybe we'll flip-flop too. Have you both on that one.
Yeah.
Well, you have the freedom to do whatever you would like.
Yes.
That's it. Now I'm gonna create a thing with freedom and make it my wallpaper.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show.
Another episode of Serve and Spill.
And we are unofficially
Cheers.
sponsored by Brewmate. So Brewmate, if you want to sponsor
Love
us,
Brewmate.
you know where to hit us up. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Clink. And that's Defining You with Kathy. Thank you, everyone. I got to sip. Ready?
Oh, ASMR.